I'm going to use a lot of examples from the U.S. men's national team. So I know sometimes it aren't really relevant sometimes, exactly how they do things. But I want you to know that all the stuff that I'm teaching to all my club. So I run a club, Team Rockstar. I have kids ages 7 to 18. Today, after this, I'm going to coach the Future Stars, which is 6-year-olds and 10-year-olds. So I will not teach them out of system stuff, but I will be teaching them the basics. So I am really, a lot of the stuff that I learned US, I try to take to the lower levels, but I also kind of mix the two together. So super excited to kind of share this stuff with you guys. Hopefully it gives you guys a little bit different twist on how to think about out of system hitting. At the international level, effective out-of-system attacking is very often a skill deciding tightly contested matches in an area that our young players enter our program underdeveloped as compared to the rest of the world. Now, originally when I put this together, I had said it's the most important skill of winning matches. And my data volley analyst, Nate Go, said, no, it's not. And I do agree with him. It is not. But if you're in a tightly contested match, just think about those tough matches when you guys get that big dig and then out of system, you hit out and just all the momentum that's lost, or that big dig and you get blocked straight down and all the momentum that you guys had is now lost. So I think it's a really important thing when teams are pretty even. I really do feel like this is a really important skill that we can develop. And the other reason why I wanted to do this topic was that on the men's side, and I mean, I coached the women at Long Beach State, just underdeveloped in our shot selection and different ideas we have. Everyone, I call them block avoiders instead of attacking the block. So we'll go through this here a little bit and I'll show you guys how I break it down. Okay, so I basically think of 3 reads when you're coming in out of system reads. Go for the kill. That means it's a good set, good approach. Now, when I say go for the kill, I don't mean you have to hit the ball as hard as you can, but you're being aggressive, going for the kill. 2 would be recycle. And that's when it'd be a tight set. And so recycle is when I throw the ball in the block and I want to keep the ball back on our side. So this could be a team that's, really good in transition. So we want to keep the ball on our side, or just a tight set and hitting the ball off the block's not easy. The third thing is tip and roll. And that could be a set off the net. That could be no approach. But what we're going to talk about a lot when we get into tip and roll is this isn't like a weak, hesitant, scared tip and roll. This is a very well-placed, well-planned tip and roll to get the other team out of system. I think we're good on the questions there. Shouldn't be too much on that. We'll go to the next screen. Before I get index, I'll break down each phase here, then we'll watch some videos. A couple key words and phrases I use to teach. So I talk a lot about to my players a pre-snap checklist. So what would a pre-snap checklist be? That would be before the point. I'm looking. Do I have a small blocker in front of me? Are they in rotation defense? Do they have a line digger play defense? What's open? Do they leave the corner open? All these things I'm kind of talking about. And so that in the moment when it happens so fast, I've already kind of thought it through. Okay, so I use this for everything for my blocking assignments, defense assignments, but I call it a pre-snap, like a quarterback has to do before snap to make all those reads. And it's the same thing. So a pre-snap checklist. Patience, which is basically stay behind the ball. Really important as an out-of-system attacker that you're patient. So, what's one of the biggest difference in out-of-system is the higher set. Okay. And so many times players get anxious. They come in early. And when you're early, you're done. So preaching patience, another way to say it is stay behind the ball. Vision equals precision. Just a phrase I use with my guys. Hey, if you see it, it's easy. The game is really easy, right? If the corner's open, you see it, hit to the corner. If the line's open, you hit it. So, that goes with patience and staying behind the ball. Attack the block, edges, and change speeds. Okay, attack the block. Another one I use sometimes is, I don't always like to use the don't, but don't be a block avoider. Okay, when we got 2 blocks up, the hard part is we have 2 blocks. The good news is we know we have 2 blocks up. So sometimes when we got a fast set, it's 1-on-1, a guy makes a big dive move, it can fool you. But out of system, you shouldn't be fooled. There's no reason to be hitting down. You should be hitting high, deep, and attacking the edges of the block. Okay, so we really like to attack the edges of the block, and then you can change speeds to make that more, to get to the next level. And then the last one I use a lot is live to fight another day. So when you don't have a great swing, you don't have a great situation, tipping the ball or trying to get the other team out of system is a really important thing. As you say these phrases more to your team, it makes it that much better for teaching because they understand it quick. And pretty soon I can say patience and almost vision comes in with that, right? I say attack the block and they know edges and speed and all the other stuff that goes under it. So you start kind of getting one little phrase or keyword together, and then they kind of get the rest of it that goes with it. Any questions on that? Okay,
Not
good.
seeing anything here on my end either yet.
Perfect. All right. So our first thing we're going to go through. So I'll go through, we'll go through the kill, then we'll watch a video of it, and then we'll go through some drills that hopefully you guys can take into practice to train. Okay, so when I'm saying go for the kill, I'm assuming it's a good set, but the part you can assume is set location. So, every team has different good set locations. So for us, the national team, we want to set the ball about 3 feet inside the pin and 3 feet off the net. But if it goes 5 feet inside the pin and 2 feet off the net, we got to be able to adjust, right? If your thing is 3 foot off the net and off, then your attacker needs to be able to attack anything in 3 feet to like 5 to 6 to 7 feet off the net, right? So it's kind of establishing. I think it's important for you guys to establish a really good where you want your set and what they need to be able to adjust to. Do they need to be able to adjust to a tight set, or is that a really big setting error? Do they need to be able to adjust to an offset, or is that a really big setting error? Okay, so really important things, and this will influence the decision of the outside hitter. So if it's an inside set, I'm going to be looking to attack that inside hand in the middle blocker. Okay, inside set. If I turn back to the line, I ball. There's too much court for it to land into, so I'm attacking the outside hand in the middle blocker. And we'll go through this on the video as well. Outside set, I'm looking to attack the pin blocker's outside hand now, right? Now just a little tink up the block and that thing lands out of bounds. We want strong balance approach, big backswing with the arms. Really important for your girls coaches to watch this. A lot of times they start coming in a little bit soft and not really coming in aggressive. So if you see a big backswing, you're watching video with the girls, you know they're aggressive. If they get the John Sprague cause the arms of doubt and they're not going back that far, then you can train them better. Okay. We want to stay behind the ball, like we talked about. We want to hit on the way up. Anytime we start hitting on the way down, we start hitting down into the block. We want to vary speeds on the edge of the block you attack. And I think one rule so one of our assistant coaches, Javier Weber, is from Argentina, and he says never hit down in the middle blocker. Okay, so he doesn't care how good of a hitter you are. What the thing is, you never hit down in the middle blocker, and it's a team rule for us now, and it's just something you never want to do. And I think that's a good team rule for any team. You can hit up at the middle blocker, but you're not hitting down. Okay, so what we're going to do is Jordan's just going to play this video straight through. And what I want you to do is how many different types of attack do you see in this video? Okay, so actually, yeah, Jordan, since we're playing this straight through, you can probably just play it from here. So how many different types of attacks do you see? Going off high hands, some aggressive tips and rolls, going deep corner, going inside the block, going off the block line. So just watch our outside hitters doing this.
Is that coming in all right for you, Matt?
Yeah, I see it pretty well. Can we make it a little bigger?
I think that's about as big as I can get it.
Okay, I see it pretty well. So see that inside set? I was going off that inside hand in the middle blocker. Same thing. A lot of hitters want to come inside the court, then try to hit line. Look at that one. Maybe you saw the smaller blocker up there, right?
I'm gonna do something real quick, Matt. I'm gonna,
Let me share mine. I'll share mine. Okay.
yeah, I
All
think
right.
that'll
I
be
got you
best.
guys. Um, so tell me, you guys tell me if this is any better here. Um, any better here? How's it look on your end, Jordan?
It was choppy in the beginning, but it's a bit smoother for me now. And for all the coaches in attendance too, we'll have this film available in the PowerPoint slides that you can download and you can watch too, um, after the session as well.
Okay. So as you see,
There we go.
these are ones, these are ones where he's going for the corner. Now he switches it up, right? Goes to that line. So mixing up their shots. Another thing you guys can look at in these videos, look at these out of system sets, right? How important is that? I feel like that's one area in the women's game that's so overlooked. Are you spending time with your non-setter setting, putting up a hittable ball? Can't tell you how many games my daughter plays and how many games I go watch, and it's big dig and then set up the 10-foot line. I just don't think you can kill a ball from the 10-foot line. Keeping all those balls high, right? Coming off those hands. Last one here. I really like that line swing there from Aaron. Okay. So hopefully on that video, you guys saw the different areas that they're attacking, right? The right hand, the left hand, the inside hand. So as that ball is getting more to the line, attacking more the outside hand, the ball is inside, attacking the middle blocker more, but they're always keeping the ball high. Okay. They're always keeping the ball high. So here's the drills we can do that incorporate a bunch of stuff. So first, you can just get out that boogie board, hold that boogie board up on the net, and just have them practice hitting it. Get them comfortable hitting the block. I'm telling you, so many kids, when they start off doing that, will try to go inside the boogie board and around the boogie board. So make sure they know that they want to attack that board. Then you can go into a block, a two-man block situation, and tell them the same thing. And in this drill, you can work on out of system setting. You can also work on getting shoulder to shoulder on the block. So, you can have one coach working with the block, one coach working with the setter, coach working with the hitters. If you only have one coach, then just focus on the one skill that's really important, which is right now the out of system hitting. Okay, so really important that at this point you're telling them, hey man, we're going for it. We're attacking this block. You make some errors, no problem. I think as you take this into live 6x6, I like to give a bonus point for any out of system kill that happens, just to keep them tuned in for. So you could be, hey, we're going to play mini games from 20 all, but anytime you get an out of system kill, that's a bonus point, right? So that's going to go fast. And so I think it gets people to be a little bit more aggressive. Remind players to maintain vision, remind them that there's a lot of ways to kill the ball. Okay, I think you saw TJ set the ball in the block. You saw off speed, off the hands. You saw hitting the ball as hard as they could deep. Some glory swings. So you just want to encourage that. And yeah, I like to progress it. So you guys know, I like to go from the boogie board to a live block and then give the bonus points in the 6x6.
Great. And it looks like we did have a question submitted through text. So Coach
Okay.
Yenser is asking, you recommend the attack go into the middle block. So I think Yenser is asking, does that mean into both hands or a specific location for the middle blocker? Like when you are targeting the middle blocker?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. So you want to hit, so if I'm blocking on the right side, this guy's blocking here and I'm here, you would want to hit this left hand of the middle blocker, and you want to hit it with some thumb down or some thumb up if you're on the right side. and you want to hit it with some spin. And when it hits that ball, the spin, that's what causes it to, it normally, a lot of times it will stay on your side of the court and it will go out. Now, if you aim super high up and try to hit just like the fingertips here, right? It's a riskier swing. It's a good one to learn as well. You saw TJ do it a couple of times in there, but just be aware that it's a little bit riskier. But hitting that ball up and with spin. So as you can see down at the bottom of this PowerPoint, don't hit down into the middle blocker, right? So once you hit down in that same swing, even if you put spin on it, it's going to come down on our side of the net. So it's up and a little bit of either thumb down or thumb up.
Yeah, great question, Coach. Let's see, you want next slide, Matt?
Yeah.
All right. Of
course. Okay, now we're going to get into recycle, which was kind of one of the main ideas I wanted to do with this because it's something a little bit different than you guys see. So like I said, on our team and with my club team, we tend to set the ball a little bit tighter to the net. Why do we do that? Well, we do that because I feel like we're in a little more control to score points. When that ball gets at 8 feet, it's difficult to kill a ball unless you have some big time hammer. On the women's side, I don't see blocks. I don't see girls getting blocked from 8 feet, but I don't see many kills either. Okay, so we tend to put the ball a little bit tighter. Now, this is not for every team. You need people with body control that can get to the ball. Okay, but if they're aware of it and they can shorten their approach and they can get there, it can be a really successful tool. So when do we recycle? We cycle when the set is tight. Okay, when the set is tight, all this as hard as you can. They're touching that ball almost before you are. It's not really hard to do all stuff. In order to make recycle useful, though, is you need to get a good touch on that recycle, right? So we have our libero on the national team. He's coming in and he's like following the ball and he's almost telling the hitter, hey, recycle, I'm here. And ideally what we're doing is we're putting that ball off the block into our libero who's getting a good touch. And ideally we are setting a quick or a big out of recycle. Now you'll see we don't get that too many times, but that is our goal. If we are not able to set that ball, we want to set the player with the runway. So let's say I'm hitting a go ball. I recycle it. Our libero plays it. It wouldn't be to set me again. It would be now set the red, set the back set, right? Because that person should have a runway where I'm doing something. I'm like playing the ball fast. So just kind of something you guys can look for and implement into your systems. Okay. I will pull up the recycle video here. Look at this set here. All the way up there. Maddie goes up. And we get that. So do you guys see? I want to show it one more time. So Maddie gets up here tight. Look where Eric is underneath our libero. He's in there, ready to play this ball. Gets a really good touch, and look at our middle ready to get off. And Mike is setting that. Okay. Another big time setup there. Now this one's a little bit further off the net. I want to show you guys some times where it's tough to recycle. To me, this is a better ball to tip and roll. Okay. But he tries to recycle it, and now it's really hard ball to get to. Micah kind of does one off a tight pass. Maddie gets it up. Garrett goes in, hits it again. We got another touch. Okay. So this is the time when you guys can see this. It gets wide here. And when this ball is here, I believe it's better to kind of, if you guys can see my arrow, tool this hand a little bit rather than try to bring the ball back in. Because what happens is the ball comes in this area and it's really difficult to play. Okay. And in that place, we had our middle blocker, back row, not our libero. So it's a little bit more challenging. So TJ comes in here now. He keeps this one low and he ends up getting a kill out of it. Okay. So it can be, you can score points on some of his recycles as well, just by putting that ball low. No approach, recycle, we get it up. That one goes back, and we get that point. Yeah, they call there on that list there, but that was a good play. And this is another one here where on this play, I would like Aaron to tool his hand, but he tries to bring it back into play, and they can kind of throw that ball down. So, uh, um, so we're getting that libero in tight, trying to do it. You want to go up at the block on the recycle, and ideally, if you saw on the video, the tighter the ball is, the easier it is. You want to come so up and into that block. The further you are at the net mark, you got to put a little bit of pop on that ball, because what happens is if you loft it to them, the block comes over and throws that ball down. And any ball that gets around this bar from there, it's really hard to recycle. And even if you do, it's tough to get it. So your goal is to try to get this ball to come off the net about 3 to 4 feet. And then we can get a good touch on recycle and to go. So if you're like at 2 to 3 feet, you got to hit with a little bit of pace into that ball and hopefully going up. You want that ball to go up into the block and get it going. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that's great. That was for Coach Mark, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect, Mark. Okay. So drills, once again, a boogie board. I think it's a good drill. If you guys have these blockets, like in Europe, they have them a lot where you put this thing by the net. It's awesome, even better, but we don't have that in our gym. So we use a boogie board. And all you're doing is you're working on out of system setting kind of tight. You can even toss them as coaches if you'd like. And you're just going in and you're working on covering. You're working on putting into the boogie board. You have your libero coming in to cover. You have your whole team on there in cover formation. Okay. For boogie board, you want to put it like, kind of just up, not so much over the net, just up there where they can kind of hit it off. And then you can tap it a little bit if you want to help with it. But just have it up over that net. Just don't put it straight over so the ball's going straight down, right? Then you just keep working on hitting it up into that block, up into the block. Now, a boogie board is actually easier to recycle off than a block. Okay, so it gives them a lot of touches, gives them a lot of time, but just to get used to it, make sure that the person who's recycling is also ready to cover themselves. Really important that because that ball might come to you. So I teach my kids to hit off the block and then drop kind of low and try to play that ball low so you have more time. Lots of dialogue here. Once you go into kind of a semi-live drill, I would say just against a double block, or if you're in a men's game, you triple block, but in the women's side, just a good double block. So high ball, you know where the ball is going, get it, and you're just working on recycling off the block from all angles. Now, eventually you can make it where they're making a choice. Am I recycling? Am I killing? Am I tipping? But right now you're just doing recycle. So if the ball's at 5 feet, 6 feet, you may not try to recycle that ball in a game. But in this instance, you will still try to recycle the ball off the block. Okay. Then once you get into live play, same thing. Any recycle is a bonus point. And so if you get kids that really want to win drills, they'll start working and trying to get as many recycles as they can, because you could recycle 2-3 balls in a rally, right? And so it could be a fun way of kind of encouraging this to happen. So yeah, any questions on any of this recycling?
Apart from Coach Mark and Coach Harry, I don't see anything else yet in chat right now.
Okay. Yeah, it's a really valuable skill, everyone. Really allows you to extend rallies, and it's just a heads up smart volleyball play that needs to be used more, because it is not easy to kill those balls that are tight. And it's also very hard to tip over a block that's tight. When the ball's tight, people try to tip over, that's when they get thrown down. Okay. So once it's there, I'm going into the block, and you'll see on some of these videos when they're tipping in that block, they're actually getting kills off of it, but they're actually going to recycle on those balls. Okay. Yeah, let's go to the next. All right. Last but not least, your third read. So first one, perfect set, good approach, smash, or vision, tip and roll, whatever you see. Second one, tighter set. I got to keep this ball on our side. Japanese are amazing at this. Argentina is amazing at this. It's so frustrating. You feel like you get almost an ace. They get one hand on it. They set the ball from 50 feet off the court, recycle, they get it, and then they get a good kill. And you're like, oh, it's just deflating. So really good play. This last one is tips and rolls. And our goal in the tip and roll is to turn it into a positive attack. So what is a positive attack? So a double positive attack's a kill. A positive attack is when I hit a ball or tip a ball, whatever, I attack a ball, and the ball that comes back to us is a free ball or like a down ball. So that would be a positive attack. So our goal in these situations is to turn our out of system ball into a positive attack. One of the things I talk to my teams, my younger teams, a lot about is like, what do you think you guys hit? I ask my team, what do you think you guys hit out of system? And, they say, oh, 150, 200. I'm like, well, closer to like under 100 in general on out of system balls. So if you're an out of system ball, do you want to hit basically one and get 1 out of 10 kills? Or do you then want to put that other team in the same situation and make them make a play out of it? Right. And so that's what we're doing. We're trying to do. When do we try to do this? Well, you could one time, you just have a huge blocker in front of you. You could do it. But in general, sets off the net. I have no approach. I want to take out an attacker. Let's say you're playing one of those club teams with one great attacker. She's front row. You tip it in the donut. She's out. And then you get a better swing on it coming back. Take out a setter. Maybe the libero can't set. They can out of system set. So you're tipping it to go back row. Okay. So before the match, one of the things I always scout with my teams is where are they going to tip? If it's rotation defense, right? If it's rotation defense, I'm tipping into the donut, making that area one defender come all the way in to try to play that ball. If it's an off blocker defense where they're coming and getting tips, I'm tipping that ball right over the block and making them come all the way across the court to get that. Okay, so these are just things that you have a plan for this because it's so big. Turning what is a bad situation for you and making it a bad situation for them is such an underrated skill in volleyball. All right, let me show you just these tips and rolls. And just as you're watching it, look how many, I think the videos get shut a little bit, or look how many times we either win the point directly on the tip and roll, and how many times if we didn't win the point, we at least still got like a pretty good ball back. Okay. Worst thing, a half hit that they soft block or a roll shot to area 6. Okay. Roll shot to area 6 is coming back consistent at you. Ball soft off the block, coming back consistent with you, and an error, right? And if you guys look at your team and you guys go down and watch video, I bet you guys will find that a lot of your out of system swings, shots to 6, they're getting blocked or hitting out, or they're getting soft blocked. All right. So this is what we're trying to eliminate when we watch this part.
And while you're pulling up the video, Matt, just for sake of replay value and coaches who might not know, can you define or describe where area 6 is?
Yeah, area 6 is middle back. Okay, so he's on the ground. We have a setter heading, and you got a tip, right? He's about 10 feet here, 3-man block. Oh, this is one I don't like. Okay, so this is TJ, or this is Aaron. He decides to roll shot 1 to 6. It's not as bad as your guys' roll shots will be, because I've seen those a million times in the club world. But still, okay, well, this next one is TJ, I think. Yeah, it's TJ. Okay, he's going to come in here. He's going to roll shot this to 6. And now look what comes back at him. Basically, I don't know if you guys saw it, but it's a bick with no one up. Okay. Now we're in a worse system ball. Get a swing. He's at 10 feet, tip and roll, and we have a free ball coming back. Right? So another thing, 10 feet, tip, set her out, libero setting, 3-man block, we get a dig. They tip, we have the tip back, take setter out, 3-man block on a bick. Okay, we'll take those odds all day long. Bomb serve, tip, that's vision right there. That's what an inside set can do for you guys as well, right? So it gives him this vision coming forward. He's coming in, he has it, and he sees that guy's deep in 6, not where he's supposed to be on a triple. What it up, great set, comes in, set her out. 3-minute block. Another kill. So I don't know if when I originally agreed to do this, I mean, I knew that the tips and rolls would be successful, but I had no idea how many like direct points we were getting on those and how successful they are. And if we have a little time later in the video, I'll even pull up one more that's pretty interesting, but really interesting. So drills. Initiate the out of system with either a set or a coach hit a defense. So I do it 2 ways. I can either hit it at a guy and he digs it, and I assume that's going to be an out of system dig, and then you get a set, or you can toss to a guy to set or a girl and say, hey, you're Susie, you're setting, and you put them in a spot where they're setting out a system ball. Then that first person that attacks the ball has to tip a roll. It's a tip a roll mandatory no matter how good the set is. And then from there it goes live. But you get an out system rep, tip goes over the block, and it's live volleyball. So what you're getting to work on, you're getting to work on out of system setting. You're getting to work on a well-formed out of system block. You're getting to work on your own tip and roll coverage. And I always say I turn a tip into a quick or a bick. That's my goal. That's my guys know, hey, turn this, don't just get this tip. So we're giving them a tip back. We're turning this into a quick or a bick and go from there. So I think it will be very surprised how often they score, the attackers, and then remind them after the point, hey, who won that rally? And because they won't get it sometimes, because the rally will go over 3 or 4 times over the net. Be like, who won that rally? And they're like, oh yeah, the one that tipped, right? So I think it's a really good drill to kind of get all this stuff going. And then once again, you could do if you go live, tip and roll falls, right? Just to kind of get people on it and to do it, or a plus point if you get one to be a kill. But the really important part of this drill is just kind of understanding that a tip is not a cop out. It's not being scared. This tip is with purpose to a certain spot of the court, is giving your team a better situation to win that rally.